Attention, Bears Nation! The quarterback who embarrassed us is coming and hurt. Is this our shot at revenge or just another beatdown waiting to happen? But hold up. 2 KY defensive pieces are coming back to rescue a secondary that completely collapsed without them. Yeah, 20 touchdowns allowed. And there's more. A new veteran already has 3 sacks and might just be the secret weapon Dennis Allen's been hiding. So how do we take full advantage of this rare window? Can we turn this opportunity into a playoff run? Smash that bell, hit the like button, and stick around till the very end. Because what's coming next could change the entire course of the season. Don't miss it. The opposing quarterback is dealing with an injury that could give Chicago a huge edge at the most critical point of the season. The Vikings are limping in just when the Bears are hungry for payback. Let me ask y'all something after what went down in week 1. After that fourth quarter meltdown that left us with the bitter taste of a loss that should have been a win. Do you really believe in coincidences? Because here's the deal. J.J. McCarthy hurt his throwing hand against the Ravens. And even though Kevin O'Connell is brushing it off like it's no big deal, I'm telling you, they're downplaying it. This is his throwing hand, folks. The hand he uses to make those pinpoint passes that torched us in the second half of that Monday Night Football game. Let me put it in perspective. McCarthy finished that game against us going 13 for 20, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. But here's the kicker. In the first half, the kid was lost completely out of sync. It was in the second half when he found his rhythm and made us pay for every defensive mistake. Now imagine that same situation, but with a wrapped up hand, pain, and a week of limited prep. You think he's going to have the same accuracy? I don't. And here's where things get really dicey for Minnesota. Carson Wentz is done for the year after shoulder surgery. Their backup is Max Brossemer, a rookie who hasn't even sniffed the field in a regular season game. So if McCarthy can't go, or if that injury is worse than they're letting on, the Vikings are in serious trouble. And we, the Bears, have the perfect shot at redemption for that week 1 loss. But here's the part that worries me. We can't get cocky. McCarthy's a competitor, a warrior, and even if he's banged up, he's going to give it everything he's got. Plus, Kevin O'Connell is one of the sharpest offensive minds in the league. He's going to tweak the game plan, simplify reads, do whatever it takes to protect his quarterback. So yeah, we've got an edge, but it's not a guarantee. I think this injury gives us a golden opportunity, but only if our defense steps up. Montez Sweat has to bring the heat, Austin Booker needs to be disruptive, and our secondary has to be ready to pounce on any mistake. If McCarthy's compromised, he's going to force throws, he's going to make errors, and we've got to be there to make him pay. So I'm asking you, are the Bears ready to take advantage of this? Or are we going to blow another lead like we've done too many times before? I believe this team is different, that this time we'll execute, but we need to see it on the field. The head coach just confirmed that 2 injured defensive stars will return this season. Chicago's secondary is about to get its identity back. Listen up, because this is huge. Ben Johnson just confirmed that both Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are expected to return at some point this season. And I'm telling you right now, this changes everything for our defense. Everything. Let me break it down for you. Since we lost Jalen Johnson in week 2 against the Lions, our secondary has been a mess. We've given up the 11th most passing yards in the league, 2,163 yards. We've allowed 20 passing touchdowns, 5th worst in the NFL, and here's the worst part. We're giving up 6.3 yards per play, 3rd worst in the entire league. Those numbers are unacceptable for a team trying to make the playoffs. And here's what drives me nuts. We've been getting lit up by backup quarterbacks. Tyler Huntley carved us up. Joe Flacco, 40 years old, made us look like rookies. Jackson Dart ran wild on us. These aren't Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, folks. These are guys who shouldn't be dominating us like this. And the reason is simple. We don't have our best players on the field. Jalen Johnson is one of the top cornerbacks in the league. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. When he's out there, he can completely erase the other team's top receiver. That frees up the whole defense. Lets Dennis Allen get aggressive with blitzes. Gives our safeties more room to operate. His impact goes way beyond stats. It changes the whole defensive dynamic. And Kyler Gordon, when healthy, is one of the best nickelbacks in the game. His ability to cover the slot and blitz the quarterback is priceless in Allen's scheme. We've been missing that versatility badly. Now let's be real. They're not coming back tomorrow. Johnson's been out since week 2 with a groin injury that needed surgery. At first it looked like he'd missed the whole season, but recent reports say he could be back in December if we're still in the playoff hunt. And at 6-3, we're right in the mix. That means Johnson could return. But here's what's got me fired up. Ben Johnson isn't saying maybe or we hope. He said he expects both guys to return. That's a strong statement, folks. That means the medical staff is seeing real progress, that these guys are responding well to treatment and rehab. I believe getting these 2 back in December could be the difference between just making the playoffs and actually winning in the playoffs. Because getting there is one thing, competing with the best in the NFC is another. And to do that, we need our best defense on the field. Let's be honest about the timeline. Johnson probably won't be ready for the Steelers next week. I doubt he's back for the Eagles on Black Friday either. But after that, we've got the Packers twice in 3 weeks with the Browns in between. I'm telling you, that Week 16 game against Cleveland would be the perfect warm-up for Johnson before those crucial division matchups with Green Bay. And here's what's got me hyped. When Johnson and Gordon return, we're not just getting 2 players back, we're completely transforming our defensive identity. Nash and Wright and Tyreek Stevenson have done what they can, but they're not Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon. The talent gap is massive, and the timing couldn't be better. We're about to face some of the best quarterbacks and offenses in the league in December. We need to be at our defensive peak when it matters most. And if Johnson and Gordon come back healthy, we'll have that shot. So I'm asking you, can this team hold the line until our defensive stars return? Or are we going to see more games like the ones against Huntley, Flacco, and Dart? I think we can hold on, but it's going to take other guys stepping up big time. A newly added veteran is redefining Chicago's defense with his versatility. The defensive coordinator may have just found his secret weapon at the perfect time. Now we get to what might be the biggest story of all, because this is happening right now. Not in December. Not down the road. Right this very moment. CJ Gardner-Johnson is completely changing how Dennis Allen can run this defense. And I'm telling you, we're just scratching the surface of what this guy can do. Let me hit you with the numbers because they're straight up wild. In just 2 games with the Bears, Gardner-Johnson has racked up 3 sacks. 3 sacks in 2 games as a cornerback. You realize how insane that is. One of those was a clutch sack on Russell Wilson last Sunday that forced a 4th down in a critical moment. That was a game-changing play, folks. But here's what makes it even more special. Gardner-Johnson isn't just a blitz threat. He played under Dennis Allen in New Orleans for 3 seasons, from 2019 to 2021. He knows this system better than anyone in our secondary. During that time with the Saints, he had 5 picks and 3 sacks. He knows exactly what Allen wants to do with these defensive looks. And here's the genius part. Allen is using Gardner-Johnson in the role originally designed for Kyler Gordon, the corner who can blitz the quarterback. Because outside of Montez Sweat and Austin Booker, our D-line hasn't been generating enough pressure. So Allen's had to get creative, bringing heat from the secondary, and Gardner-Johnson is perfect for that. I think Ryan Poles deserves a ton of credit for this move. Yeah, Gardner-Johnson has had some character concerns, some off-field stuff. But Poles looked past that and saw the talent. The scheme fit, and so far, the gamble is paying off big time. Now here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon come back? Because then Allen's got all kinds of flexibility. He can send Gardner-Johnson on blitzes, drop him into coverage where he's elite. By the way, with 13 career picks, including 6 last year with the Eagles. He can rotate Gordon and Gardner-Johnson as blitzers or send both at once. That kind of versatility is priceless. Folks, quarterbacks won't know where the pressure's coming from. Is it Sweat off the edge, Booker, Gardner-Johnson, Gordon? That confusion leads to takeaways, and we've already seen it. In the 2 games Gardner-Johnson has played, we forced 4 takeaways, including 2 quarterback fumbles. And here's how it connects to our D-line. When you bring pressure from the secondary, it frees up your edge rushers to win one-on-ones. And we've seen that play out. Montez Sweat has sacks in 4 straight games, including 2.5 in the last 2 weeks. Austin Booker's been making plays too. Gardner-Johnson's presence is elevating the whole defense. But let me be clear, our pass coverage is still a problem. We're still giving up the 11th most passing yards, 5th most passing touchdowns, and 3rd most yards per play. Those numbers are unacceptable. Gardner-Johnson helps, but he's not the full solution. We need Johnson and Gordon back to truly fix it. So I'm asking you, can Gardner-Johnson keep up this level of production? Or will teams eventually figure him out and take him out of the game? I think he's versatile enough to stay effective, especially once Allen can mix up his role between blitzing and coverage when everyone's healthy. And here's what excites me the most. We're seeing the blueprint of what this defense can be at full strength. Picture Jalen Johnson locking down the top receiver. Gardner-Johnson and Gordon rotating as blitzers or dropping into coverage. Sweat and Booker winning their matchups because quarterbacks are worried about pressure from everywhere. That's a defense that can hang with anyone in the NFL. That's a defense that can take us deep into the playoffs. But only if we can keep everyone healthy and on the field together. The next few games are going to be huge for Gardner-Johnson. We've got J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings, then Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. 2 very different quarterbacks. McCarthy's young and raw perfect for exotic blitzes. Rodgers is older and less mobile, also vulnerable to pressure. Gardner-Johnson should have chances to make plays in both games. I believe what we're seeing from C.J. Gardner-Johnson is just the beginning. Once Johnson and Gordon are back, this defense is going to hit a whole new level. And when that happens, we're going to be a serious threat to anyone in the NFC. So after everything we've broken down today, I've got a few key questions for you, Bears Nation. First, about JJ McCarthy's injury. Do you think the Vikings are downplaying how serious that throwing hand injury really is? Or are we blowing it out of proportion and this isn't as big of an edge as we think? Because I'm telling you, a throwing hand injury is always a problem, no matter what the coach says. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll capitalize on this or waste it like we've done too many times before. Second question about Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon's return. When do you think they should come back? Should we rush them back for those Packers games because we need those division wins? Or should we let them take their time and come back fully healthy even if it means dropping a couple games? I think we've got to be smart, but I also know every game counts in this playoff race. What do you think? And third, about CJ Gardner-Johnson. Can this guy keep up this level of production the rest of the season? Or will teams eventually figure him out? And more importantly, do you think his character issues are going to cause problems in the locker room? Or did Poles make the right call bringing him in despite the concerns? Because right now, this looks like one of the best moves our GM has made all year. Listen, Bears Nation, these three stories are all connected in a way you can't ignore. We've got a potential edge against the Vikings this Sunday. We've got two defensive stars coming back in the next few weeks. And we've got a veteran making plays right now who's only going to get more dangerous when everyone's healthy. This is the moment we've been waiting for, folks. After years of mediocrity, after watching the Packers run this division, after all the letdowns and false hope, we finally have a team that can really compete. We're 6-3, we're in playoff position, and if we can survive these next few weeks and get our guys back, we're going to be a real problem in December and January. But I need you, Bears Nation, to stay locked in with this team and this channel. Because I promise you tomorrow, the next day, and every day this season, we're going to have more news, more analysis, more exclusive content about our Chicago Bears. Don't miss a single video every day. There's a new piece of the puzzle that brings us closer to understanding where this team is headed. So here's what I need you to do right now. If you think we're beating the Vikings this Sunday, hit that LIKE button. If you believe Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are coming back to transform this defense, subscribe to the channel. And if you think CJ Gardner-Johnson was the best pickup of the season, drop it in the comments. Because this isn't just a YouTube channel, folks. This is a family. This is Bears Nation United, sharing our passion for this team, breaking down every play, every decision, every piece of news that could shape our shot at finally getting back to the greatness this franchise deserves. So join the family. Turn on those notifications so YouTube lets you know every time we drop a new video. Share this content with every Bears fan you know. And most of all, stay locked in with this team. Because this year, 2025, might finally be the year we get it done. Bear down, Chicago Bears. I'll see you in the next video with more explosive updates on our team. And remember, in this family, we bleed navy and orange. Always.